One of the channels that I watched covered some of the symbolism from Burning Man, and one of his commenters suggested looking into this statue called Angel of the North, which is in England. And this is it. The Angel of the North is a contemporary sculpture by Antony Gormley, located in Gateshead, Tyne and Wear, England. Let's look at the sculptor. His name is Antony Gormley. It's Sir Antony Gormley. And they claimed that he said he did not want to do this initially, but was inspired after visiting the proposed site of the sculpture, comparing it to a megalithic burial chamber, the site. So he talks like a witch. Let's see if he is one. Oh, look at that. He is a Knight of the Crown. See, he's got here these little letters after his name. Order of the British Empire and the Royal Academy. What are some of his other works? Mostly it's these iron men modeled after his own body. This is one that has 100 cast iron figures face out to the sea on Crosby Beach. And this one is 31 life-sized figures on London's skyline in Event Horizon. So think what you want and decide if there's a reference to the merging of iron and clay here. And in any case, the amount of money spent and exchanged for this art is astronomical. The art industry is a common way to launder money and rip people off since the values are so subjective. Here's another sculpture he did for a movie. And he made a man made of waste to be burned for this movie, Exodus, which it says is a contemporary retelling of the biblical story of Exodus. Okay. The same commenter said to look up the Tees Valley Giants, or Temenos. He said that it looks like a portal, and he believes that it is, and could explain the high crime in the area. And the structure is situated in Middlehaven in England. And what I read about it is that Temenos comes from the ancient Greek term for land cut off and assigned as an official domain, especially to kings and chiefs, or a piece of land marked off from common uses and dedicated to a god, a sanctuary, holy grove, or holy precinct. And this sculptor was paid £15 million. Does that thing look like it's worth £15 million? Who was the sculptor? Is he a witch too? Oh, look at that. He is also a Knight of the Crown. Of course he is. Royal Academy and the most excellent order of the British Empire. Let's see what else he's done for his masters. He's got this turning the world upside down. He's got one called Sky Mirror and Cloud Gate. He's got this Leviathan in Paris. Leviathan. And I would not go inside that. He also constructed this orbit for the London 2012 Olympics. A lot of high symbolism in that. And what Kapoor said is that one of the influences on his design was the Tower of Babel. The sense of building the impossible, and that it has something mythic about it. And when he was asked this question of if engagement with people and places is the key to successful public art, this was his answer. He said, "I'm thinking about the mythical wonders of the world, the hanging gardens of Babylon and the Tower of Babel. It's as if the collective will comes up with something that has resonance on an individual level and so becomes mythic. I can claim to take that as a model for a way of thinking. Art can do it, and I'm going to have a damn good go. I want to occupy the territory, but the territory is an idea and a way of thinking as much as a context that generates objects. That's according to this knight of the British Empire. That's what he said about his Tower of Babel for the London Olympics. And also regarding his Temenos. Regarding his Temenos. The Temenos was funded by the government initiative The Northern Way. And the Northern Way initiative was supposed to be a way to build the economy and help the community in certain areas of Wales. But I'm not sure how they figured this thing would do that, especially not since they named it as Temenos, which means claiming the domain as one for the kings and dedicated to one of their gods. Apparently, the government initiative, The Northern Way, also funded the Angel of the North, paying millions of dollars to each of these knights for their art. But if it's a government initiative, that probably means they use taxpayer money to fund it. But when I went to find out the financial details of this Northern Way initiative, their economic plan links are no longer to be found on the initiative. Is closed. The initiative is closed. But it wasn't closed until after their sculptors were paid, of course. Remember, I was saying that art is a good way to launder money and rip off people because the value being subjective. So there you have another example of the crown using knights to do their witchy things. But even if you don't see my perspective on that theory, hopefully people would at least have a problem with them using taxpayer money to fund and build something that looks like the Tower of Babel to occupy the territory, which they say is for the community, but it's actually for the kings. Thanks for listening.